Chesapeake has some awesome neighborhoods. Well, today I want to talk about my top 5 value neighborhoods. That's the best, really, value for the price in Chesapeake in 2024. We're going to focus on the best in all of the price ranges because in each price range, you can get different things. And there are often little slivers of neighborhoods or slivers of spaces that you can get just that little bit extra for the price and get maybe just a little bit more than you may have bargained for and still pay just about the same price. So we're going to start with the area in Greenbrier and talk about some townhouse neighborhoods that are in Greenbrier, near Greenbrier Mall. But there are 3 distinct subdivisions of these townhouses, which are River Birch Run, Mill Quarter, and Lakewood. So the general area of Greenbrier is, if you look on the map, if you look at, first of all, looking at Chesapeake, the larger city, Greenbrier is near the eastern side of Chesapeake, near Interstate 64, and it's very close to Virginia Beach. Now, Greenbrier is one of the most popular parts of Chesapeake. I love Greenbrier, and it's not only was it the biggest thing since sliced bread in the 1990s, but it's definitely coming on now, and there's going to be a lot more redevelopment and new stuff happening in the area of Greenbrier now too, as we get going into the 2020s and 2030s. But if you look at Greenbrier on the map, you'll see this big section here. Well, Greenbrier Mall is this large yellow section here. Well, next to that, there's a road called Eden Way. It's like a big ring. It kind of goes like in a semicircle from, you got Greenbrier Parkway on one side and Volvo Parkway on the other side, and you can use Eden Way to connect all the way through the areas and neighborhoods near in the Greenbrier Mall and Greenbrier area. Well, there are 3 separate townhouse neighborhoods or sections of Greenbrier that I want to focus on. First is off of this street called River Birch Run, off Eden Way, right across the street from Greenbrier Mall. Then there's Mill Lake Quarter, which takes you across. If you're going down Eden Way, going south, you'll see it on the right-hand side here. And then going further over, going across Volvo, you'll see some more. If you come on Eden Way south, more strips of townhouses going down into the corner near Still Harbor Circle, Spinnaker Court, all these down here. Now, these are all slightly different time periods when they were built. Like, for example, the one closest to Greenbrier Mall was built in the late 70s. Then you've got one in the middle of Mill Lake Quarter built in the mid 80s. And then down further south of Volvo Parkway, you're talking early 80s. And different sizes. You got 2 bedroom, 1.5 baths. You got 3 bedroom, 1.5 baths. Some a little bit larger than that, 950 square feet, like maybe 1,500 square feet. But if you really want an accessible location to a lot of different places, like if you're going to go towards Portsmouth, if you're going towards even Norfolk, downtown Norfolk, you're close to Interstate 64, which can take you that way in like 15, 17 minutes. You can also get to Virginia Beach in a few minutes too. You're close to the interstate, you're close to major roadways, like Kempsville Road, Battlefield Boulevard, Greenbrier Parkway, plenty of shopping. You got Best Buy, you got Target, great grocery store, Harris Teeter, which is next to Barnes & Noble, which is in the same general area in Greenbrier. So all the sections around Greenbrier, you're close to plenty of stores and shopping. I mean, you literally can get there in just a couple of minutes if you're driving. These aren't fancy. These are anywhere from like the low to mid 200s, and then you'll start seeing as you get into higher sizes and more bedrooms, 250 to 275, and now we're pushing into the low 300s if you get the larger ones. These fall into the Greenbrier Property Owners Association area. You're paying just under $40 a month for HOA. Some of these have trash pickup, and also a playground. And it's not a big area, so you're not paying too much. And but to me, I'm kind of a big fan of small HOAs because the HOA kind of still has some guidelines to help people to kind of keep watch over their house, their property, but it's not super involved to where you're going to be, beholden to all these incredibly crazy rules and regulations. So I do like that balance of a small HOA in a neighborhood like this. I like that some of these also have brick veneers as well, so they're not all just like vinyl. Now, I'd say one of the drawbacks to some of these is depending on what you prefer with they call it elevation or the style of the face of the house. Some of these have like those those roofs that drape over the front of the house. It's kind of like my wife says, it's like the roof is hugging the house. So some of these houses in here do have that kind of style roof, and so depending on if you like that or not, it might be a drawback. But if you want something, pretty low key, not super fancy, not super expensive, and very accessible to lots of things, I think this is, to me, one of my favorite townhouse or attached style living neighborhoods or areas in all of Hampton Roads, actually, because again, you can pay under $300, you can get a very accessible spot, and it's a real nice community for what you're paying. I think it's just a balance of lots of things. I'm a big fan. So now shifting attention further north, actually close to Virginia Beach, to the northern side of Chesapeake, is an area that is just above the Greenbrier neighborhood in terms of price range, but you can find some under 300,000. But 300, 350. There's a neighborhood called Norfolk Highlands that is also a large neighborhood. I'm a big fan because you can get, to me, if you want detached house and you want, accessible to large major roadways and interstates within a few minutes, I like Norfolk Highlands a lot. The main part of Norfolk Highlands is here all through closer to Route 13 or Military Highway near Providence Road, and going down further south across the Military Highway here, and even going back up into the area closest to the actual Indian River, closest to Indian River Road. So all through here, it goes all through here. There are different types of houses in different parts of this area. What you'll find is that the trade-off that you're giving to get a house at like 325, 350, 300 in some cases in a place like Norfolk Highlands is that you're giving up size of lot, but you're getting a detached house. And so, like, for example, if you got a larger lot, you might find something like this maybe in Deep Creek, and you're paying a bit more for it. But you can get houses in here like a small, like 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for mid low 300 sometimes. Now there are a real big variety of floor plan styles. So these aren't, some of these are smaller, and that's part of the reason why you can get them cheaper too. But like 1,300, 1,500 square feet, you can get them up to well over 2,000 square feet, and even there is a lot of new construction in Norfolk Highlands. And the reason is because a lot of these areas in Norfolk Highlands had vacant lots. And back in starting in like the early 2000s, builders were trying hard to find places to build. And this was one of the cheapest options, balanced with the opportunity to build in an area that already is pretty much established. And so you'd find a lot of these new construction houses at the time in a neighborhood like this is pre-existing. Now, as you're getting into the new construction now, they're going to be closer into the $450,000, $475,000, even pushing $500,000 at this point. But again, it's a new house for the price. It's hard to find a new construction house in Chesapeake, period, for under $600,000, $550,000. So getting a new construction house for $475,000 or in that range, $500,000 is great. And there are fewer of those new construction being built, mostly because a lot of those vacant lots that we were talking about, builders had bought and built on in the last 15 plus years. So what you'll find is you'll see a bunch of old houses built in like the 50s and 60s and 70s. Then you'll find interspersed between all those houses, new construction houses, like old, new, old, new. And then like 4 in a row that are new. And then you got 4 more that are old, and then 7 that are new. It's just kind of a randomness. And so that's one of the, I'd say, the drawbacks, I guess, to Norfolk Highlands is that you kind of get a mishmash of different vibes in different parts of the area of the neighborhood. But that's part of what makes it, kind of keeps it more affordable. You're close to lots of cool stuff too. You're close to the Indian River Park, which is just across the street from the southern part of Norfolk Highlands. That's a nice long park. It's a big one, and people forget about this one. It's tucked away surrounding all sorts of different types of neighborhoods, and you just kind of drive by it and don't notice it. And so if you're in the southern part, you can see it right here. The southern part of Norfolk Highlands borders the Indian River Park, and it's a big one. So that's a positive, especially if you're on the southern side of Norfolk Highlands. And so location-wise, you're coming off of Indian River Road. That's a pretty major road. You can get to Norfolk in like 10, 12 minutes. You can get to the rest of Virginia Beach in like 5. You just drive across Indian River Road. And then Military Highway is right here. Interstate 64 is right here, 264. Like, you're pretty close to lots of major roadways and easy access to like the northern side. Like if you're going to NOB, Norfolk NOB, up in the northwestern corner, or if you even want to go towards downtown Norfolk, like I said, or even towards Portsmouth, you can go across the tunnel in about, if there's no traffic, 15-ish minutes. But again, that just depends on the traffic. Now, I'd say one of the other drawbacks is that there aren't a lot of really key nice shopping areas or centers close to Norfolk Highlands. There's one, you'll hit a Kroger, and also near a Walmart, which is right off of Battlefield Boulevard near Providence Road. And so where it is right here, there's the Kroger. And you're not that far away from Greenbrier either. But again, close access. If you come out of the neighborhoods, you'll see a bunch of old strip malls. Not a lot of real nice, like really redone, aesthetically pleasing shopping, to be honest. But I will say that the city is focusing some attention on Indian River Road on this side, in the Chesapeake side of Indian River Road, putting some potential parks in this area. So I think that this area could change and be more aesthetically pleasing and just a nice area So I think there could be some extra potential growth opportunities for appreciation disproportionate to the rest of the area as well, maybe, depending on what the city does with the side of Indian River Road. And I'd say if there's a drawback to Norfolk Highlands, it really is that some of these houses feel kind of cheap. The construction's fine. I mean, you'll find that some people, because there's no HOA in here, and because the houses and the lots are a bit narrow and sometimes small, you'll find that people want to add on to the backs of these houses. And what that means is that's a natural thing to do. It's just that because the houses are already kind of narrow, if you add on to the back, it feels like you're just in a long hallway sort of thing. And you'll find a lot of times you'll see a house that's listed. It's like, oh my gosh, it's 2,300 square feet or 1,900 square feet. It looks like a tiny little bungalow. Well, the reality is they probably built onto the back and added on like a couple rooms, and it's a big house technically from square footage purposes, but it might feel weird because you don't really see too many of these types of configurations in other neighborhoods. So it's just a long kind of narrow house as opposed to kind of a longer, wider one, like for example, with most of the ranches you'll see in Chesapeake, for example. So you'll also see Cape Cod sometimes. You'll just see a big mishmash. And while again, it's not always ideal, you can get a more affordable house in Norfolk Highlands for a cheaper price. I think it's one of the best values that you can find anywhere in Chesapeake. So now let's go up into the 4s to the 500s price ranges, going into an area in the, I'd say, a pretty prime and in demand, but also kind of classic Chesapeake vibe, which is in Great Bridge, and it's called Wilson Heights. So where is Wilson Heights? And Sam, why have you not been talking about it? Well, I think that it's easy to let some of these neighborhoods kind of slip through the cracks. I love this neighborhood. There are a lot of great neighborhoods in Chesapeake, but I say for the price right now, I think one of the reasons that I like it a lot is because it does get overlooked. If you look on the map, so zooming out, you've got Greenbrier, which is further north, showed you where that is, Greenbrier West, and then going down towards what I'd say is the classic Chesapeake area, which is Great Bridge. If you go down towards Cedar Road, which is where the Chesapeake Municipal Center is, or City Hall is, the big main road is Cedar Road, but just south of there, these streets right down here, this is Wilson Heights, all through here. And there's a lot of brick ranches in here, but they're nice size houses. You're talking 400s, low 4s, mid 4s to start, and then you go into the 5s and mid 5s. You'll see some kind of creep higher than that, depending on if they're larger or maybe totally redone inside. But for the price, I'm liking what you can get in here. Now, sometimes you can find a house that maybe like for, low 4s, it might need some updating. But if it's a house that you may have paid 5 plus for in another neighborhood all redone, this is where you can sneak in there and get some good value. And I think get a real solid house, which these houses are extremely well built, I think, built in like a great classic time period for Tidewater or Hampton Roads construction, where most of these were built in the 60s and some early 70s. But you'll see some 2-story, but a lot of these are nice sprawling ranches, and you'll see like the upper 1,000 square feet, like 15 to 2,000, you'll see those, but then you'll start seeing them like 22, 24, 25 plus 100 square feet ranch style in a lot of these cases. And it really just, because of the requirement to have a little bit larger lot to build a house like that size of a ranch, it feels really nice. And so you can find some good options in here. Now, again, you're paying for location still. It's not a big neighborhood, but if you find one in here like 425, 450, put some work into it, I think you'll enjoy what you get as far as benefits go without having to pay $525 or more for a house like that in this neighborhood. Now, some of these are smaller, like 1,800 square feet, but those are going to be just under 4, about 400,000. And those will also likely be dated. Like you'll see a lot of wood paneling. So if you get under 4, you'll see all those renovation things pop up. As you go into the 450, 475, 500 price range, you'll see some either larger houses that might need updating, but you can get a good value. Maybe just even live in the house in the condition it's in for a while and do things as you go, or be over 500 and get something that's totally redone in the low mid 5s and be real happy with that too. I just like what you can get size, lot configuration wise, size of lot, flow of floor plan, and you can just get a real nice house for the money in a very historic part of Chesapeake. If you're okay with a little bit smaller, you can creep under 400 and enjoy, like again, 1,400 square feet could work well in this price range. And I think the drawback would probably be that there is a higher proportion of houses that need a lot of work, just because the people that have lived in here, again, they've been here for a long time in a lot of cases and may not have done a lot of updates to the houses for a while. So that could be, I would say, a drawback if you don't like the older feel to some of these houses. Now, if you look at where they are, Cedar Road comes off here. You got plenty of shopping up and down Battlefield Boulevard, right across the street as well, also. But going down Cedar, there's plenty more going over towards the Dominion Boulevard Bridge, the Veterans Bridge, excuse me. Lots of shopping over here. One of my favorite restaurants, or it's a gas station burrito place called Burrito Perdido, which is over closer to it's on the left side of Cedar Road, closer to the other side of Cedar Road. I love Cedar Road a lot. I like the houses off of Cedar Road. You've probably heard of Las Gaviotas, may have heard of Pines of Warwick, and even Cahoon Plantation. But I do think that Wilson Heights is an often overlooked neighborhood, and I think some really, really cool spots in here. And I think it's worth considering if you have some time to wait for a house to pop up in here. Now, one of the drawbacks to living in Wilson Heights is the fact that you're going to be close to one of the busiest intersections in Chesapeake, which is the intersection of Cedar Road and Battlefield Boulevard. So looking back, you're right here. Here is Wilson Heights. You can come out of the neighborhood on Battlefield Boulevard, which is helpful. Then you have to come out here and most likely turn left at Cedar Road, and that will lead you to it's just clogged in this area, close to the bridge. The bridge lifts. That's annoying sometimes, especially just inopportune times. People coming out of the shopping center. Just a lot of annoyance coming at the stoplight. They're doing a good job of configuring this to make it easier, but it's still not ideal. And so I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks to living in Wilson Heights is that traffic. And especially if you want the Great Bridge School District, I'd say this is a good option as well. So my next neighborhood is a neighborhood that I think has a combination of nice house, nice size, nice floor plan, not super expensive for what you're paying, close access to lots of stuff, and it's got a lake. It's called Huntington Woods. Two neighborhoods together, Huntington Woods and Huntington Lakes. And we'll show you on the map where that is. It's actually pretty close to Greenbrier and off of Kempsville Road. And the reason I like Kempsville Road is because Kempsville Road, you look in the map right here, this is Kempsville. Look how far Kempsville Road goes, all the way up into right in the middle of Virginia Beach, and also down into the furthest depths of that section of Chesapeake, closer to south parts of Greenbrier, Battlefield Boulevard, going towards the bypass. You can take that road and go all the way up and down. And so I love being close to there, but Huntington Lakes and Woods is awesome. It is a nice combination of very secluded neighborhoods, so it's not too far away from major roadways, but you don't feel like you're on a major roadway. That's pretty cool. Number two is it's got pretty affordable prices. There are some spots in there that are like, low 2,000 square feet for like in the 400s price range, like low 400s. You can get them like 450, 475. And then on the lake, and now we're talking like in the mid fives and mid sixes, but the access to the lake is very uncommon. It is hard to find a lake like this and houses on a lake like this in most of Chesapeake or Virginia Beach in the 550 to 650 price range. So being on the lake for that price right now is not very easy. These houses are built mostly in the 80s. You're going to start seeing some contemporary floor plans, not as contemporary as you might see that is more of a trendy style like in the last 5, 10, 15 years, but you're starting to see some open floor plans a little bit. You'll still see some spots where people might want to open up walls and just make it a bit more modern. So you're kind of in that tweener time period where you're kind of like seeing things change, like configuration wise, but it's not fully developed yet or changed yet. So you might find some drawbacks to being like how the floor plans might feel. But again, I think a lot of people will probably find these are open enough to feel good in and not have to do much in or anything in. The combination of those two neighborhoods, even together, don't make for very many houses getting listed. I think it's because, again, people realize it is super convenient. It's nice house, nice neighborhood, lots of trees. You see the trees in the neighborhood. It's real quiet and convenient. If you're on the lake, especially too, it's like an awesome view. What's cool too is, notice you can get out onto Kempsville Road from the neighborhood. You can also take the roads all the way down through you can cut through to Greenbrier Parkway and not have to go onto any main roads from the neighborhood. You can also cut up into Volvo Parkway as well. So through all the side roads, through the neighborhood roads, you can get out to all the three major roads that surround the neighborhood. Huge fan of that, and that's super cool. I mean, I'd say of all the slight conveniences that people don't think about, being able to get out from different directions is, I think, a very underrated facet of being in any neighborhood. So if you want like a $600,000 house on a lake, Huntington Lakes is awesome. And if you want like just a nice house, 450, 500, 425, modest style house in an area that is very convenient, you can find that in various sizes and conditions in Huntington Lakes and Woods in that price range. I'm a big fan of this neighborhood for what you get. So that leads me to my next neighborhood, value neighborhood in all of Chesapeake. You might say, well, why? It's so expensive, Sam. Why is it of value? Well, I'll show you. It is called Woodard's Mill, and it goes down. You're down all the way south into the southern part of Chesapeake, south of, I've mentioned in other videos about the Etheridges, those neighborhoods. You keep going down further south. It's down south of Etheridge Manor Boulevard. If you come off the bypass and then go down Hillwell Road, you see where it says Millstone Road here? This road right here leads you to this long, windy neighborhood that is full of trees, full of woods. These houses are big. They have lots of space, and they're very exquisite and nice. Like, you definitely feel like you're paying for an upscale house in this neighborhood. But another one of the benefits here, separate from the quiet and just the feel of the nature and the trees in your house and the uniqueness and the sophistication of these houses, are the lot sizes. These are 3-acre lots. And so that's why you see them so far off the main road. And it's hard to find a planned, like almost like a planned subdivision with these size lots in it. Usually you find that like you might see a house in South Chesapeake with 3 acres, but it could be next to one that has like just 1/4 of an acre, and it's next to another one with 10 acres. It's all random. This is a real nice traditional neighborhood. And these houses mostly are going to start in the $900,000 price range, and they'll go up from there. Over $1 million is pretty common as well. And they're mostly built in the early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s. But they're big, like they're mid 3,000 square feet, 4,000, 5,000, almost 6,000 in some cases. Like, they are sizable. So if you want a lot of space, 4 or 5 plus bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, 3, 4 full baths, multiple half baths, like just a big old house, this is a good option. But I think one of the best benefits to being in this neighborhood is combination of, you feel like you are in tranquility. Number one, you kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but you're also not really. Couple turns, you are right next to there's a real nice Harris Teeter that is just up the road from Woodard's Mill, and then you're close to the Chesapeake bypass, so you're not like maybe 4 or 5 minutes away from the bypass. You can get up, even going down first towards Edinburgh. There's Target down there, Walmart, and then you can go back up into Greenbrier. You're about 16-ish, 17 minutes away from Greenbrier, so you're accessible to things. You're not too far away from things, but you're definitely you're kind of trading off the full, quiet, tranquil vibe of a Woodard's Mill for the convenience of being, like 7-8 minutes away from Greenbrier. So you can't get both of those necessarily, but you're going to get a lot of the quiet, but you can still get access to these other shopping areas and things to do, parks, for example. And also, if you're working into the middle of Chesapeake or even into Virginia Beach, it's not too terribly far, but because your lot's so big, because it's so quiet in the neighborhood, it feels like you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? So it's got that balance. So just make sure that if you want a house like this in Woodard's Mill, you want that feeling of being separate from the rest of the areas, because you definitely feel that, in my opinion. Another thing about Woodard's Mill is it has well-in septic systems, so the city utilities are not through the neighborhood. So now, if that bothers you, this might not be the right option for you, but for the style of house it is and the size of lot it is, there aren't too many options like this in a neighborhood like this. So, definitely just do some research on septic systems, and also keep in mind that you are going to use a well for your water. But if that's not a big deal to you, I would say this is a very, very, very good option, because this really it's the country. This feels like country. And so if you want the country, you're going to be dealing with well and septic systems anyway. So this is kind of a balance of country and a neighborhood. So if you have any more questions about relocating to Chesapeake or any other area from Virginia Beach through Williamsburg, that's what I do. I love helping people relocate to the area. So if you have any questions, you drop a comment, or you can email me, call me, text me. I have my contact information in the description. You can reach out at any point, and I'll do whatever I can to help you relocate to the area. And I will see you on the next video.